What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I just got out of Funnel Hacking Live, and I had one of the most monumental speeches that I've ever seen on stage, and I want to share some of that information with you. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Scott King. I run a DJ company in Orlando, Florida, www.djsorlando.com. And I also have a coaching business if you're looking to build up your business, close more sales, www.coachscottking.com. Now, I just got out of Funnel Hacking Live, and Russell Brunson, the owner of Funnel Hackers, was on stage for an hour and a half, and he was talking about selling one-to-many. Now, most of the conversation was just talking about the subconscious and the conscious mind. And as a hypnotist and an NLP practitioner, I kind of knew a lot of that information already, yet I was still glued to the presentation because he was going to talk about selling one-to-many. And as he was talking about the conscious and the subconscious, he broke it down in a way that really moved me. I had a mental shift. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the conscious and the subconscious mind. So basically, your body, through your five senses, you get thousands of bits of information, we'll say. Your conscious mind can only focus on 7 bits of information plus or minus 2. And the way to, examine that or prove that's a thing, I would just say, how does your left pinky toe feel? So now that you're focusing on your left pinky toe, you can, tell me how it feels. Now that feeling was always there. And at the same time, as we're having this conversation, you wouldn't be thinking about it unless I brought that to your attention. Okay, now with that information, let's go ahead and break down what's going on with the conscious, subconscious, and how people buy and how people sell. Now, basically, this is a presentation on how to sell one-to-many, which was something I was kind of stuck on, yet had all the information in front of me. And the way that Russell Brunson presented it, I had such a mental shift that I wanted to share it with everybody. So when you're doing a sales call one-on-one, and he did it with stuffed animals too. It was great. So when you're having a sales conversation and you want to sell one-to-many, you first have to understand the psychology of the human mind, right? So when you're talking to the conscious mind, you have emotions and then you have logic. And the way Russell demonstrated that is that he says that he brings a Twix to a family event, and while he's on stage, he'll say, "Who wants a Twix?" So the kids go running, and the adults are like, "I don't know, that's not for me. There's too many calories, and I'm all going to get a sugar rush, and I'm going to gain some weight, and I'll probably crash." So a kid would be emotional to go ahead and get the Twix, whereas somebody who has a lot of logic, a lot of experience, longer on this earth, they have logic. And then these two buddies end up talking to each other, and that's what you're talking to when you talk to the conscious mind. Just keep that in mind. So these are the two guys that you're talking to, which is all fine and dandy, yet somebody's not going to make a sale or close a sale unless you get the elephant involved. And the elephant is something that remembers everything. Like I was talking about with your toe, how it feels, the elephant remembers everything. So it will calculate all the experiences that you had in your life, and then the monkey and the dog will have to go to the elephant and say, does this work out for you? Logic will be like, hey, I've run the numbers, this is going to work out. The monkey will be over there like, yeah, let's do it. I'm an emotional buyer. The logic guy is like, hey, I did the calculations. I think this will work. And then if the elephant has went through the memories of your history and says it lines up, then they'll be able to move forward. And the one thing that could be holding anybody back is fear, because they don't want to get stung. Now, the whole point of the bee is to keep you safe, right? I'm sure you guys, or maybe you haven't, have heard of the reptilian mind, right? That's the one that wants to keep you safe. And this is kind of developed from caveman times, right? So we had no idea when a lion was going to attack us. So this is based on scarcity or fear. And in order to get past whatever loop you're in, right? We're all in loops. If you want to grow to a spot that you haven't been able to get to yet, you have to push past the fear. Got it? All right, perfect. So the job is to calm down the bee. So that's why it's a stuffed animal. I got my daughter's animals involved. So that's why you calm this down. Be like, hey, look, I'm betting on myself. And if I'm determined enough, which is another thing, right? You want to be at threshold. There needs to be 3 things for threshold in order to happen, right? The first thing is that you agree that change needs to happen. The second thing is change happens now, and I'm the one that makes the change is the third one. And that's why we have the bee over here representing it. Be like, hey, are we at threshold? Then you could take this bee, turn it into a stuffed animal, and then now we've calmed the bee down so you won't get stung. So that leads us back to the conscious mind. So once you get the conscious mind on board, they go to the elephant and say, hey, look, this is something that we want to do. And then the elephant looks back into your history of all the things that you've done in the past and what you've categorized those experiences to be, and says, well, this kind of lines up with what we're going for. So the question then becomes, do you want to move many people or do you want to move just one person? So one-on-one sales is a little bit different. You can ask them questions. So the question then becomes, how do you get past the dog and the monkey and talk straight to the elephant? You do those with stories, right? So if you're going to have a sales conversation with one-on-one, they have stories that the elephant has stored in their mind of what they believe the world to be. And this is kind of where your limiting beliefs come in, and a few other things as well. In order to get past the critical factor, you have the monkey and the dog, and you want to talk to the elephant because that's how people will move on their decision. If you can't convince the elephant on the sale, then you don't have anybody moving. So how do you talk to the elephant? You talk to the elephant in metaphors. You don't say directly that I can help you. You say, hey, look, I've helped this person and I have this to prove it. Kind of like with my business, right? I've been able to build my business 6 figures and beyond from the things that I learned, like the subconscious and the conscious mind. And yes, being able to teach it to somebody else is definitely something I could do because I've helped out multiple people throughout my life. And if you want to learn and grow to get to the next level, it's about learning about emotional intelligence, how the subconscious works, how the conscious mind works, and how being able to get past fear to get yourself to the next level. And if you learned anything from this presentation, I really advise you to go listen to Russell's speech on this because it was very monumental for me, and I'd hope it would be monumental for you. At least open up a few doors so that you can see that there's more out there. And remember, the more that you know, the easier it will be for you to get to the next step. Make sure to join the Facebook group, www.coachscottking.com. I'll see you on the inside. Thanks.